as wide as the mat, big toes together, heels slightly apart. As so. So if you're on a hardwood floor or a towel and place it underneath your knees, sometimes being on your knees on the hardwood floor is super challenging. Your big toes together, heels are slightly apart. You're first going to start to sit on top of your heels, and then you're not going to lose that connection as you walk your body all the way forward. So the goal is to keep your butt on your heels the whole time, and your forehead will come to the ground. If it is not comfortable for you to bring your forehead to the ground, you can take your block or your book, place your forehead underneath your butt, and we're just going to settle in here for a couple of breaths, just taking a few moments to let go of your week, let go of your morning so far, separating yourselves from anything that's going on around you, whatever's happening within the next hour, you will get to it. Always just trying to give yourselves a little extra time for you. You'll begin to activate a nice nostril breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Good, you're all going to stay in child's pose. So that nostril breath is called your Ujjayi breath. It sounds like this ocean echoey kind of a noise. It's as if you're fogging a mirror, but keeping your mouth closed the entire time. So I always like to say the more exaggerated your breath is, the better it is for your body. So big inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Keeping your hips glued to your heels, you're going to continue just to creep your fingertips forward. So finding this nice elongating stretch in the back. In child's pose, you're stretching out the lower back, of course. We're creating some space in the rib cage and the side body. And then you're staying low in your child's pose. I want you to press all the way into your fingertips, keeping your forehead plugged into the ground or the block. And what you should feel pressing into your fingertips is your shoulders lifting up and your spine sinking down. We're going to take about 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out. And then you'll use your next inhale to gently meet me in a tabletop position. So in your tabletop position, you're on all fours at the top of your mat. Your fingers are spread nice and wide. Shoulders are stacked above the hands. Belly button draws in tight to your spine. Spine is nice and flat. Hips are above the knees, and tuck your toes into the mat. So we'll just move through some cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, look up to the ceiling. This is cow pose. And then exhale, push your hips forward, look for the wall behind you, cat pose. I'm going to just switch my view here for you all. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, look up. And then exhale, round. Move through a couple more on your own while I just kind of go through the alignment here. When you're in cow pose, you're lifting your tailbone up to the ceiling, pointing your belly button to the ground, so you'll feel a nice big stretch in the torso and a really exaggerated arch in the spine. And then for cow pose, you're looking for the wall behind you. You're compressing your abdominal muscles, squeezing that in and rounding out the lower back. Everybody take 2 more here. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. From your neutral tabletop, thread the needle. When your inhale comes, you're going to reach your right fingertips up, open up for the ceiling, look all the way up. As you exhale, take your right fingertips, thread them through your left, come all the way down onto your right shoulder. So if it is not comfortable to have your head on the ground, you can take one of your props, place your head underneath the prop. I always like to say if the ground is far away, bring the ground up to you. So once you settle and thread the needle, we have a couple options with that left hand. You can keep your left fingertips forward, or you can hook your left arm around for your lower back. So what we're ultimately doing is we're inwardly rotating the right shoulder, externally rotating the left shoulder. It is completely okay to have pressure on your shoulder and your head here. Take 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, place your left hand down. All of your body weight will come in the left hand as you come on off your right shoulder. Other side, inhale, left fingertips up. Exhale, thread your left arm through your right, come all the way down now onto that left shoulder. Same idea, if you need that extra support underneath your head, go for it. Otherwise, we'll start with the right fingertips forward. If that's enough, absolutely stay. If you'd like more, wrap your right arm around for your lower back. And we'll take about 3 more breaths here. This is called thread the needle. It's a subtle little shoulder stretch. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. One more inhale. As you exhale this time, right hand is down, all of the body weight in the right hand as you come on off the shoulder. So in meat packet tabletop position, we're back to the right side. Curl your right toes to the back edge of your mat and gently start to press your body weight forward and backward. So the ball mound of your foot is toward the back of your mat, leg is nice and stretched out, and shifting your body weight forward and backward gives a nice calf stretch, the Achilles heel, your arch, toes, ball of the foot. And then what you'll do is you'll lift your right leg up. You're going to send it out to the right. So we want the heel and the hip in one straight line. The sole of the foot is off of the floor. Then from there, you're going to come up onto your fingertips, find your stability, and then you're going to sit up so that you're kind of standing on that left knee. Now, if it bothers your left knee, you have the option to roll your mat up a little bit and give yourself some cushion, or if you want to place a towel underneath, a little pillow, depending upon how sensitive your knee is, that's fine. From here, we're going to walk the left fingertips down to the ground. Again, if the ground is far away, bring the prop up. Reach the right fingertips all the way up and over for gate pose. So we don't want to have spaghetti arms. We want to have a nice active reach here. Thinking about hugging muscle to bone all the way in that right arm. You're reaching for the left side of the room all the way through your middle fingernail. The stretch begins in the shoulder, travels down the rib cage or your side body, continues through the hip and out through the outer thigh. Let's take 3 more breaths here. So it's a really nice way just to feel a little bit longer. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Balance is challenged here, so we want to think about that core activity, drawing your navel into your spine as if there's a magnet between the two. On the next exhale, empty out your lungs. Use your inhale and your core strength to lift back up to neutral. Now your right hand is down, left arm reaches up and over, stretching the opposite way. So we never ever want to put pressure on the knee here. Your hand is either below the knee towards your shin, or you can kind of rest your forearm on your thigh here. Perfect. 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Use your next inhale and your core strength to lift back up. Hands wrap around the waist. However you can get it there. Bring your right foot now to the top of your mat. Hands will frame the front foot. Again, if the ground is far away from you, take your props. Bring the ground a little bit higher. You're going to curl your left toes into the mat. Come on off your left knee. Shimmy your left leg as far back as you can get it. So now we're in that like low lunge runs position. When you cannot get your left leg any longer, drop the knee to the ground, uncurl the toes. You're going to pick a spot in front of you that's not moving. That is called your drishti. It's going to help you find stability when we lift up. Belly button draws in tight to the spine. Come on up onto the fingertips. And then you'll inhale, lift up for low lunge. So here in low lunge, it's a really, really big elongating sort of feeling on the left side, a little bit of a pinch in the right side. I want you to think as if there's this imaginary midline running through your body. You want to hug everything toward it. Inhale, lift the fingertips up. Exhale, push a little bit deeper into that hip. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, a little more pressure. Good. 3 more breaths here. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the nose. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring your hands into like a prayer position. We're going to move into a twist here. So thumbs plug into your sternum or your breastbone. You're going to lift the rib cage up. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. And you want to kind of manipulate yourself as such so that your hands stay into your breastbone. So if you have a tight spine or a tight chest, you'll be able to tell here because maybe your hands are plugged into the right armpit. You want to push away so we open up the chest here. You're still maintaining that lunge position. Might feel a little wobbly. We want to really start to activate that core and also use your breath to help you find that stability. So here in your twist, you might feel more of like an abdominal stretch on the left side, but twisting is also great for digestion and detoxification. 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, maybe press into that left tricep a little bit deeper. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, gently unravel. You're going to keep your left hand on the floor. Inhale, right fingertips up for the ceiling. Let that go. So here in your stretch, you're opening up the torso a little bit more, the upper back. And the more forward you lean, the more of the IT band we begin to stretch out. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. One more inhale. As you exhale, you're going to plant that right hand down, and once more come to stand on top of your left knee. So anytime we stretch out the hip, we are kind of blocking the flow of the blood, so we stretch the hamstring as a counter stretch. You're going to wrap your hands around your waist. You're going to come up onto your right heel and shimmy your leg as far forward as you can so the leg is nice and straight. I recommend not being on a tightrope because that's how it's going to get a little wobbly. You want to be a little bit wider with the knee and your foot. Roll your shoulder blades all the way up and back. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, you're gently just starting to fold your upper body forward. We want to maintain a flat spine here. And what's most important is that your right leg stays stick straight. The minute that your knee starts to bend, that's your furthest point for today. Keep curling the toes back, and I'll show you the other view for the next side, just so you can see. Good, so we don't want the shoulders rounding forward. We want a nice flat back, belly button in tight to the spine. One more inhale, fill up. As you exhale, you're going to carefully sit up straight, drag that right foot back, right knee meets your left, and just take a child pose, let that go. Take a moment just to catch your breath and reset. Always know that anything we do in class, if it's ever too much or you're not feeling well, this is a great place to come to. We're here for about 5 more breaths. Good, stretching your fingertips as far forward as you can, and all the while keeping your hips glued to your heels. Never lose that contact. One more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then come forward back to your tabletop position. So let's set up for the other side. In your tabletop, tuck your left toes to the back edge of your mat, and just gently start to rock forward and backward over the left foot. So same idea, you're feeling a stretch everywhere from the knee down, toe of the calf, the Achilles heel, arch of the foot, toes, ball of the foot, all that good stuff. When you're ready, you're going to send your left foot out to the left now. So remember, we want that heel to hip alignment. Sole of the foot is off of the floor. You're on the big toe edge of your foot. You're going to come up onto your fingertips first, find your balance and your stability, and then use your inhale to sit up so that we're now standing on that right knee. So remember, if you need that knee support, now's a good time to grab it. Belly button in tight. You're going to gently release your right hand for the floor or for your block and reach your left fingertips all the way up and over. Good. So remember, no spaghetti arms. We want nice straight arms here, hugging muscle to bone. So your stretch begins in the armpit, travels down the rib cage or your side body, continues through the hip here. Keep reaching as far as you can. Last 2 breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Inhale, fill up. Exhale out all the way. Belly button comes in tight to your spine. Use your inhale to rise back up. Now we'll switch sides. Travel your left hand down toward the shin or rest your forearm on your thigh. Inhale, right fingertips all the way up and over. Good. And if you prefer to grab the ground, put your block on the ground, that's fine too. Whatever hand position has you most supported is perfectly fine by me. Same idea, no spaghetti arms, hug muscle to bone here. A nice active reach. 2 more breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, belly button in tight to your spine. Inhale, lift back up. Hands wrap around your waist, belly button in nice and tight. Carefully bring your left foot forward. Your hands are now going to frame your front foot. You're going to curl your right toes into the mat. Come on off your right knee. Shimmy your right leg as far back as you can get it. When you're in that runner's lunge and you can't get any longer, drop knee down, uncurl your toes. So we want to work on finding that drishti again, that spot. It could be like microscopic in front of you that's not moving. Stare at it. Then you'll come up onto your fingertips. Belly button in tight to your spine. Then we'll use your next inhale to lift up and find your low lunge position. Good. And if you're feeling wobbly today or unstable, perfectly fine. Have your hands around your waist. Grab your props. Hands can be around your props, whatever works. If you have your arms up in the full expression, you're rotating your pinkies toward each other, and you're thinking about that imaginary midline running through the body. Inhale, lift your fingertips up. Exhale, push down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper into those hips. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale out all the way. So last time we began in a prayer pose. This time it's a little bit different. Wrap your left arm around your waist. You're gonna reach your right fingertips all the way up and over, get some nice length in the right side. You're then gonna hook your right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. So just another option to get into this twist. Hands then meet in a prayer position again. You're going to manipulate your fingers into your sternum here. And if I had a side camera, you would all laugh at me because my fingers are just stuck in my armpit. I cannot get them into the middle of my chest today. So here we are on your twist. The more forward you lean, the bigger of a stretch you'll get in like the right lower abdominal area. If you wanted to challenge your balance, you always have the option to curl your back toes into the mat. Come on off that back knee. Just an option, not a requirement. We're here for about 3 more breaths. You're trying to use your core to twist your belly to the left and also open up your chest as your thumbs press into your breastbone. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently release that. So now your hands are going to come to the ground. Your right hand will stay planted. Left fingertips reach all the way up and open, opening up that chest, clearing out the airway. The more forward you lean, the deeper of an IT band stretch you begin to get. Take 3 more breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Maybe tipping your left fingers all the way toward the right, really opening up the chest. One more inhale. Exhale out all the way. You're going to gently place your left hand on your thigh. Carefully lift up off your hands and meet standing on your right knee. So if you needed that support, now's a good time to support your knee. Hands wrap around your waist. Remember, we're not on a tightrope here. We want to have the left foot out to the left, right knee out to the right a little bit. You're going to shimmy your left heel as far forward as you can. Get that leg nice and straight. Curl the toes back towards your face. Roll the shoulder blades all the way up and back. So you're all going to stay. I'm just going to switch my view so you can see flat back. Roll the shoulder blades all the way up and back. Take a big inhale. Belly button in tight with a flat back. Exhale. Start to shift your body weight forward. So if you have the space and you want to grab the ground, go for it. If the ground is far away, place your props, or you can just stay here. So my spine is nice and flat. What I mean by rounded back is that your shoulders start to cave in, your neck lets go. We want to maintain that flat back. 3 more breaths here. If you feel nothing, remember to curl your toes back towards your face. 1 more inhale, fill up. Exhale out all the way, and then use your inhale to lift back up. You're going to bring that left knee to meet your right, and take another child's pose. This time, bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes together, heels apart. Sit on top of your heels and walk your upper body forward. Giving yourselves a moment just to let all that go, let it seep in. Now we're equal on both sides. Press into your fingertips that you feel the shoulders lift up and the spine sink down. Stay low in your child's pose. Walk your fingertips to the right corner of your mat. Keep the connection between your left hip and your left heel. And if you want more of a stretch, walk your left hand on top of your right. Remember, forehead stays plugged into the ground or into your block if possible. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Gently walk your fingertips back toward the center of your mat and then off to the other side. So same idea, this time we want to keep the connection between your right hip and your right heel. And if you want a deeper stretch, walk your right hand on top of your left. Last 2 breaths here. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, gently make your way back to the middle of your mat, and then you're going to carefully lift up into your tabletop position. So we're going to work on a squat stretch. I know a lot of us have been spending a lot of time walking, so it's a really great way just to kind of keep your hips nice and healthy. So if you know you have tight hips or sensitive knees, the more support you have, the better. So I'm going to demonstrate it with all my support. What you're going to do is you're going to stand up and you're going to bring your feet as wide as the mat. And then you're going to sit down on top of your blocks or your books. So the tighter your hips are, the more support you have, the easier it will be to tolerate. And what we want to do is think about symmetry as well. So we want the knee stacked on top of the ankle. What you're going to do from there is you're going to bring your elbows into the creases of your knees. You're going to bring your hands to a prayer position. And same as before with our twist, you're plugging your thumbs into your sternum and you're using your elbows to push your hips out. So you're all going to stay. And what you should be feeling is a big stretch on the inside of your thigh. I'm going to get rid of my blocks and demonstrate the full expression of the pose. So ideally, your tailbone is maybe like an inch above the ground, and there's a straight line between the crown of your head and your tailbone. So from a side view, we're all the way down, down, down. So I want you to imagine as if there's a string on the crown of your head pulling you all the way up toward the ceiling, and a magnet on your tailbone drawing it down toward the ground. All the while, you're still using your elbows to push your hips out. So, might not be the happiest place in the world for a lot of us. If you are in pain, I want you to stop. We're only going to be here for about 5 more breaths. It's a really, really challenging position to hold. The more intense the pose gets, the deeper your breaths should become. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands to the ground, gently lift up, walk your feet a little closer, and then just hang here in a ragdoll position, holding on to opposite elbows, taking your forward fold. Letting all that seep in. So again, like we said before, whenever we stretch out the hips, we want to counter it with a hamstring stretch. Here's your hamstring stretch. If it's too much of a hamstring stretch, bend your knees. Nod your head, yes. Shake it, no. Wrap your hands around your waist, give it a squeeze, and then inhale, roll up to stand, and just give your legs a little bit of a shake. We're going to make our way back down to a squatting position. This time your feet are going to come a little bit closer for a toe stretch. So again, if you know you have sensitive knees or this is challenging for you, grab your support. If you have bad knees, what I want you to do is come to a tabletop position and curl your toes into the mat. So from a side view, this is what you look like. Knees are into the mat, curl your toes, and you're just going to work on pressing your body weight backwards. That's going to be a great toe stretch. If you have no knee issues and you're okay getting in that low squat, what I want you to do is take your props, curl your toes into the mat, and come on down nice and low. So right now I'm on the balls of my feet. I'm releasing the balls of my feet and coming all the way up onto my tippy toes. So as best as you can imagine, I want you to pretend like you're wearing a 7-inch high heel. Right away, you should feel something. If you feel nothing, give a little holler. Good. So the more intense this becomes, the deeper your breath should be. Our feet get super neglected, and it's really important to stretch them out because they're our foundation. They hold us up all day long. Maybe some of you are not as spoiled as me and get to wear sneakers all day, so even more important. Let's challenge balance here. If you need to let this go, take a break. Feel free. That imaginary string is on the crown of your head, pulling you up nice and tall. Your hips are glued to your heels here. Maybe we can play around with grip. Take your right hand to your lap. Belly button in tight, pick that spot that's not moving your drishti. Maybe bring your left hand into your lap. Utilize both of your big toes. Hold it here. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, let that go. Come on down to your hands, uncurl the toes, and just tap your feet into the mat. Let the blood come back to your legs. So now we need to counter that stretch. We need to stretch out the ankles and the tops of the feet. So I want you to bring your knees together, feet as wide as the mat. If you have knee issues, grab your blocks or your props, and you're going to sit on top of your prop. So right away, here's your ankle stretch. So I want everybody to start in this position and just kind of take a little pulse check, see how this feels for you. If right away you feel a stretch and it's intense, I want you to stay. If you feel nothing, get rid of the block, sit in between your legs. So if you take a look down at your feet never really move this way. It's important to counter stretch. If you are good, I want you to stay. If you still feel nothing, you're going to come down to your forearms. The minute that your knees leave the ground, that is your edge. We want to keep the knees flat into the ground. If you are holding and you're still with me, keep breathing. The fullest expression of this pose, you're going to lie down flat on your back with your arms up overhead. We're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently let this go. You're going to carefully make your way back to your tabletop position. Stretch your right toes back. Let the blood come back to your legs. Stretch your left toes back. And then when you're ready, we're going to come have a seat. You'll begin with your legs out in front of you. We've got one more hip stretch. We're starting with the right side. So I want you to take your right shin and bring it parallel to the top of your mat. You're then going to take your left shin, stack it on top as if it was a fire log. So alignment is super important here. We want ankle to knee connection on both sides. If you can tell, my knee is really far away from my foot. In a perfect yoga world, they're making direct contact and they're stacked up. This just means that my hip is super tight today. So if you can relate, what I want you to do is take one of your blocks or maybe even a pillow, and you're going to place it and kind of fill up that gap between your knee and your ankle. For some of us, this might be enough. That's perfectly fine. Stay. If you want more, begin to just walk your upper body forward. The more you press your weight forward, the more we intensify that stretch. Good. So if our right shin is down, it's the bottom shin. You should be feeling this mostly in the left hip. This is called fire lows. Agni Stambhasana is the Sanskrit. So think about a happy place. Maybe it's not a fire log pose. Maybe it is. The more intense it gets, the deeper your breath should become. We're here for about 3 more breaths. Maybe you can walk your fingertips just a millimeter further. In a perfect yoga world, you've created so much space in your hips that your forehead can touch the ground. Maybe not today, but maybe by the end of the quarantine. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently walk your body up. You're going to remove the props. Carefully extend your legs out. So as always, whenever we stretch out the hips, we stretch out the hamstrings. Lift the arms up. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, gently shift your body weight forward. And just grab whatever you can grab for your hamstring stretch. If you can grab your toes, great. If you can't, that's fine too. We just want to get the hamstrings loose. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then inhale, sit up. Let's try the other side. You're going to take your left shin parallel. You're then going to bring your right shin on top of it. Take your right ankle on top of your left knee. And then you're going to line your right knee up with your left ankle. So if you can tell, it's a little bit easier for me on this side. My right hip is a little bit more open than my left. Why? Because I'm totally guilty of always like sitting on one side. I also carry my pocketbook on one side. I carry my dog on one side. So we want to really be mindful about balancing out the weight-bearing sides. So if you need to fill up that space, go ahead and fill it up. And then if this is enough, absolutely stay. If you want more, walk your fingertips forward. And you're coming as far forward as you can. So remember, we never want to cross that threshold between what is sensation and what is pain. You should always be completely maxed out in sensation, never pain. About 5 more breaths here. Maybe with every exhale, you're able to soften a little bit more into the pose. Good, keep breathing here. 1 more inhale, fill up. Exhale out all the way. Gently walk yourselves back. You're going to carefully release that right leg, straighten it out. Release the left leg, straighten it out. Legs are nice and straight here. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. As you exhale, carefully lower down, grab and hold of whatever you can. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way, and then you're going to gently sit back up. And just slowly make your way to lie down on your backs, and you're going to hug your knees into your chest nice and tight. Hugging your knees into your chest is a great lower back stretch. Gently rock side to side, massaging out the lower back. And then we're just going to take a little twist to finish up class. Your arms are going to come into a T shape. You're going to drop both of your legs all the way over to the right. So with your legs over to the right, you should have your left knee directly on top of your right knee. So take a look. Make sure you have that direct contact. That little adjustment probably made your left shoulder leave the ground. That's completely okay. That's where we want to feel the stretch. Take 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. Exhale out all the way. Use your next inhale to bring your knees back into your chest. You're all going to make your way over to the other side. I'm just going to switch views so you can see. So your knees are into your chest. Drop both of your knees now all the way over to the right. So we want the left knee directly on top of the right knee. Arms are out in your T shape. Two more breaths here. Use your next inhale to bring your knees back into your chest. Gently rock side to side on the lower back. Good, and then we're just gonna finish up with happy baby. So what you're going to do, you're gonna push your heels toward the ceiling, and you're gonna grab the outer edges of your feet. I want you to imagine as if your armpit and your knees were like a ball and socket, and you're trying to fit them into each other, all the while pressing your heels into the ceiling. So what this is doing is just flattening out the lower back, and you're giving yourselves a little bit more of a hip and groin stretch. Last 3 breaths here before we wrap it up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. One more inhale. As you exhale, hug your knees into your chest one more time. Gently rocking side to side. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to roll all the way over to whatever side feels good. Take a moment, give yourselves a pause. Settle in and adjust here. And then when you're ready, you're going to press yourselves back up to a comfortable seated position. And you are all done today, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Dani.